Hey, this is Dr. Linda Davis, and today I want to work with creating a logo in GIMP. GIMP is free open source software that you can download from gimp.org. That is GIMP.org. And a lot of people use it just because it's free and it works a lot like Photoshop. So I want to show you some examples of what I've already done using logo development tools. So I have my Techie Warrior that I developed for website use, and that's one example. It's on a Word document right now with a rectangular shape colored in burgundy underneath all that. Also, let me show you some other examples. That's one that I did in GIMP. Someone had done it on YouTube using, I think, Adobe Illustrator, but I wanted to produce it again, using GIMP to show you it would come out pretty close to the same way. There's one of my Techie Warrior initial ones, just with the T and the W and pushing and pulling the letters around like you want them, using the fonts you want to use. And the one we're kind of going to do today, a similar version of it. Here's another Techie Warrior one I did with putting the actual names out there. And then this is another example where I put the Techie Warrior words in different places, just trying out different things to see what works the best. And I ended up kind of liking this one better. And then, of course, you see the ones we're working on, today. So you can use it for developing your own company logo if you're starting a new company, or maybe you need a team logo you want to design and put on t-shirts or something. So that's one way to do it as well. Now let's start with GIMP. This is what the GIMP screen looks like, and we have our toolbox on the left and we have our layers on the right, and then our canvas is in between. And so we'll start off with File, New, because we're going to author a whole new image. You're not going to be borrowing from any other file or image. So File, New, and the image size, that's just what size canvas do you want, and I want 500 by 500, and make that in pixels. This is a good starting point for logos. We also want to go down to advanced options, and fill with is important because we want to determine what the background should be. Do we want the background to be a specific color? Let me click on your choices here. Or white, or do you want the background to just be transparent? And I do want it to be transparent. I would suggest that you also pick transparent for your background, so transparency will work. Say OK, and it creates our canvas. And then we want to first on this one pop in the two G's that we want to use. So I'm going to start off using the text tool, which is the big A, and I will format that to be a certain size, certain color. So the text size, I'm going to move on down and pick, you could pick several different ones, but I suggest you click on this part to select your font, whether it be Calibri. In this case, I'm going to use Myriad Pro Bold. I like a nice clean font for this particular logo design, and Calibri is clean, Myriad Pro Bold is clean enough, and they are considered sans serif fonts. So the size, well, I'm going to pump it up a little bit to 144, and that's going to be in points. So it's a rather large letter. And the first one, it is on orange already, but just to let you know, you can click here to pick your colors. Lots of colors to pick from, obviously. Or you can go down here to color and select and see and pick your colors there. So obviously we're going with orange today, so that's fine. And I can also pick centered to center that letter in the text box that I end up drawing. So let me click on center right there. And let me take my mouse into the canvas and just draw a box where I think the letter is going to sit inside of. And then you will notice the GIMP text editor button or screen pops up, and this is where you actually type the letter you want to see in there. So I'm going to type a capital G, and because it's formatted, it already comes up like that. And close that out. Now, I want two G's of that same size, even though I'm going to change the color on the other one. But the easy way is just to, don't select anything, just as it sets right there, just do Control C on your keyboard, or you can go up to Edit and hit Copy. Either way works just fine. And now you're not going to do regular paste. You're going to go back up to do Edit and Paste As. And you want to say Paste as New Layer, because that's how GIMP works. It builds all these layers, and then when we're all done, we merge all the layers together to create the logo. Okay, so you can see we've got 2Ds there. So let's separate them out. onto the canvas so we can work with them better. Now sometimes it gets confusing. Which G, are you working with here? I check or uncheck the eyeball, and that just tells me which one. So that's the top G, obviously, and that one is the bottom G. So if I want to take the bottom G, I'm going to click here, highlight that layer, and hit the move tool over here on my toolbox. And just now that I've got that layer activated, let me just grab it and move it down lower on the canvas. And I also want to change the color. I don't want it to remain orange. I want it to be blue. So go back to this case, fill color, not text, but fill color. Bucket fill tool. Click on that, and I will go find a blue. Click on my foreground color here, and there's a bright blue. So okay. Now nothing happens to your letter until you actually take your mouse to inside the letter color part and just click, and that will change it to blue. Now I also want to move the other G down a little bit more. So that's the top one there. So let me click on the move tool and move that down a little bit. Sometimes it's a little stubborn. Let me do it twice. There we go. There we go. Now, somewhere along in here is fine. Now, let's talk about, we're going to rotate these letters and not exactly the same angle. So follow me on this. We're going to go to Layer. Let me click on the first one here. I'm going to go to Layer, Transform, go across until you get down to Arbitrary Rotation. Click on that one, and you'll get a slide bar, or you can actually put the exact angle that you want in here. Now I know my first angle is 45 degrees, so I'm just going to put the exact angle in there and say rotate, and that'll rotate that image for me. Now the second one, the second G, I don't know what angle exactly that's going to be yet based on my design choice, so I'm going to use the slide bar next time. So the layer again, transform, go down to arbitrary rotation again. Like I said, I'm using the slide bar on this one, getting close to what I want. Now, if I go this way, I tend to run out of room. I don't want it at 180. I want it further in beyond that. So let me slide it the other way. There we go. Somewhere around in there is what I'm looking for. Probably around 135. It's probably 135, negative 135 exactly, even though I can't quite get that on my slide bar. So I will probably just, now that I know I'm close, go up here and say, okay, negative 135 should do it. So I'll click on rotate, and that locks it in. Now I want to move it. I want to get it back up close facing the other G. So I'm going to click on my move tool, and let me go over here to layers and make sure it's on that one so it knows that's the one I want to move. Let me grab that and push it up. Now I could design-wise just face them off like that and it would work out fine. But I could also offset them for another design trick. So I could go like that, and that looks pretty good too. So I think I'll go with that one today. But I also want to add some more letters to this. So let me grab my text tool again. And I just need a little bitty O to go with Go Giants. So this is the Go part. And font size, and I don't need it to be so big. This is going to be more like 36. And I'll keep it on the same font. As far as the color goes, I'm going to alternate these colors. So if it goes inside the orange G, it should be a blue O. So let me close that and grab it while it's still active and just move it down and pop it right in there. And let's see, that's at 36. Okay. And I may have to pull that down to reveal itself a little better. There we go. And I don't really want it touching any of the orange, so let me just carefully move that down a little bit more. Okay, pretty close. Now I also would like, get off of that for just a minute, and go over here and ask for another text. I want Giants, but I don't need the first G, so I just I-A-N-T-S. and it's a little too big. I can tell that already. So let me adjust it. Not 36. Let me try 28. Enter. Yeah, a little better. That might be too big. Let me try 24. And the color, I want alternating colors there, so that needs to be orange. So let me go back and change the color of that text to orange. There we go. And I'll close that box out. Now it'll still let me move it, so I'll grab it and move it without actually having to click on the move tool separately. And it's touching the blue. Let me scoot it over a little bit. All right, let me move that GIMP text editor box out of the way. And that's still a little tight there, so we'll pull it back just a little bit more that way. All right, that'll work. So there we go. Now we're not quite done yet. Got the majority of the work done, but we have all these nice layers over here that we're pretty much done working with. But we need to merge visible layers, and we need to crop to selection. So follow me on this. So we'll go up and we'll go to Image and Merge Visible Layers. Control M is the shortcut for that. So that just is going to take all the layers that you see on the Layers dock and merge them into one image. Okay, so we'll merge visible layers and just say merge. Okay, and then the next step is to crop to selection. So we got to select it first. So we're going to go to Select, and we're going to select a smaller canvas basically, because we obviously don't need the entire canvas there. And we're going to go back up to Image and pick Crop to Selection. Now, the last thing is to name the file, and it is important as to what kind of file format you select for the ending here. So File, Save. It says Untitled, but I'll call it Go Giants Logo. I've done several of them, so let me get like a number 5 going on here. But the file format is very important. So it's going to be .png is what I would recommend. .gif would work, but the quality on those is not as high as it is in .png file format. So I would suggest doing the .png, and it works great in all documents like that. So go with that, and then hit your save down here at the bottom. And it may ask you save as PNG, and just hit save again. And there you have it. Now let's try it out on a background just to show you what happens to that checkerboard background, because obviously that's just to tell you it's a transparent background. So on a Word document, you've seen this one, but I can also insert picture from file and navigate back. And let me find that particular picture that we just finished up. And let's see. Go to my GIMP practice folder. Go Giants logo 5. That was it, I believe. So let's put that one in. And you can see it takes on the white background there. And if I want to resize it, you must always resize it from the corner, okay, to keep it in proportion. Also, if you're working with a Word document, you also usually need, before you can really move it around beyond margins or have text, typing beside of it, you've got to go up to make sure you're on Format and go to Wrap Text and pick at least square. And when you do that, it allows you to move it just anywhere, outside the margins, inside the margins, and also let you have text beside it, just to let heads up on that. So you can see it over there. It takes on the burgundy background, but it also works out here on the white background. In PowerPoint, let me pop up a quick PowerPoint. You don't have to do the wrap text in PowerPoint. So let me change the layout to blank and insert picture, and I'm going to navigate right back to that same file, that same logo. Yeah, practice, there we go. And so there's our one we just did. Again, resizing it always from the corners, and then grabbing it, moving it to the top corner up here. And it doesn't matter if our background on our slide is white, or if we go to the design tab and change it to some other shade, like Let's find something different just to show you. Let's go to background, and I'll just pick a different color, like a lighter blue, yellow. Not that that would be a little bright though, or green. So that just shows you all the different ways you can use a logo once you create a logo. So I hope this helps. Good luck with your new company logo or your team sport logo.